Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. The guest speaker for this session is Mr. Xu Jinghong, chairman of Tsinghua Holdings. And my name is Ma Teng. I'm deputy chief editor of Tencent. Good afternoon. The topic is about the development of an innovation ecosystem. Mr. Xu, you are the chairman of Tsinghua Holdings. If we add 3 adjectives to your title, which adjectives do you prefer? Innovative, and bold, prudential, flexible, or hardworking? Which 3 do you prefer? You can have your own options. Actually, I don't think I live up to these adjectives. If you insist on that, the first adjective is passionate. Because of my love for the world, I have strong passion for the world, for my life, for people around me. With this passion, I work hard for a better future of the world. Or you can call it a strong ownership. Ownership is mandatory for successful entrepreneurs. With this ownership, we can become successful entrepreneurs. Otherwise, we can be reduced to average businessmen. Of course, businessman is nothing bad, nothing negative, but we need a strong ownership with our nation, with our state. We will be more motivated to create value. And with that, we will be always motivated to counter difficulties. And the second adjective is truthful. Of course, it's easier said than done to be truthful. There are 3 dimensions to it. First one, we seek truth from fact. Sometimes we believe we are telling the truth, but what you tell may not really reflect on the real nature of the world. So we need to keep learning so as to command the wisdom to take the right decision. So entrepreneurs are supposed to be scholars with the spirit to learn. And the second dimension is to be self-conscious. We should be frank about what we don't know. This reminds me of a quotation from Dao De Jing, the classic by Lao Tzu of Taoism. It says that we have to be fully aware of our merits and limitations. Only with that self-awareness can we build up our strength and address our weak links through cooperation. And the third adjective is honest. Honesty or integrity is essential in the world today. We need to work hard to get rid of counterfeited goods and so on. Or if you want to have another adjective for me, we can say with a sense of responsibility. For entrepreneurs, we need always change the status quo for something better. We should engage in innovation, and to be innovator, we should take the lead. To do so, we embark on a journey of challenges and risks. So we need courage, we need determination to cover this long journey. And we should also have the wisdom to explore the way ahead. For entrepreneurs, we need all these essentials. A differentiator from political leaders or academic leaders, we should understand how to mingle in the business community. All these four are essential to entrepreneurship. Thank you. So these are necessary qualifications for entrepreneurs. But for your company, the most important denominator is Tsinghua. Tsinghua offers you the strongest foundation for corporate development. It also offers you the opportunity to seek synergy between innovation, financial investment, and corporate operation. So how do you manage to maximize this synergy between your company and Tsinghua University? Thank you for elaborating on the special business model of my company. Reflecting upon the trajectory of Tsinghua Holdings, we have relied on innovation to build up our industrial chain. And along the industrial chain, we have maximized the financial resources to boost innovation. This is a closed loop development model. Of course, we have the unique advantage because the company is affiliated to Tsinghua University, and Tsinghua stands for R&D, stands for scientific excellence. This is a major add-on for industrial development. So to create a synergy between university research and commercialization, we need to make use of the research excellence and the leading talents at the university and the competitive capital and operational know-how on the corporate sector. In the past few years, we have commercialized a lot of findings from Tsinghua University, including the large-scale container scanning and inspection system. It has been provided and distributed to over 150 countries with substantial market share. So for this year's Dalian World Economic Forum, we also provide the equipment for security inspection and scanning. We have many more cases for the commercialization of new technologies. For example, we have also adopted the fourth generation technology for nuclear power generation. Smart chips, biochips have also been commercialized through our platform. In our commercialization efforts, Tsinghua Holdings builds up a pipeline of technologies for industrial development. Meanwhile, we also feedback to university development so that the academic research and disciplinary development can be more responsive to commercial needs. Of course, people or human capital is essential to our efforts. We have best of the world faculty, students, and alumni. We have many alumni in USA, and we can work as a team to promote the whole industry. So I'm really impressed by your aspiration for Tsinghua University. You once promised to set up a foundation worth $10 billion to support the continuous development of Tsinghua University. As far as we know, Yale has a grant program of over $20 billion US. How far have you gone to finance this foundation? Harvard, MIT, Yale, Oxford do not have affiliated companies like us. This is unique for Chinese universities. Personally, I believe companies are very different from universities in terms of vision, operation, and mechanism. So it can be distracting for universities to run businesses continuously. International experience shows that universities invest in foundations which go on to invest in industries and operate companies. When I took over, the university had a total asset of $1 billion. And now it's $3 billion. But the total assets of the Tsinghua Holdings group is $60 billion, including, as I mentioned, the $3 billion attributed to the university. So I once envisioned to expand the valuation to $10 billion and transfer that to the grant foundation for Tsinghua University. This requires collective efforts. Anyway, I'm confident in creating over $10 billion in the value attributed to Tsinghua University. And China is implementing the innovation-driven growth strategy, including scientific innovation and institutional innovation. Tsinghua Holdings is the largest university-affiliated company. I believe you have much to share with us about how you set up an institution to successfully run such a giant. So what do you want to share with us to ensure commercial operation of your company, to minimize administrative intervention? Yes, we talk a lot about institutional innovation with the aim to fully harness the creativity and the potential of the company and its staff. This involves multifaceted efforts. It's no easy task. Someone have asked me about the reasons behind the success of my company in just 5 years. Actually, there are two secrets. One is change, the other is innovation. By change, we want to unleash the potential of the organism for greater efficiency. Actually, many SOEs need to enhance their efficiency and productivity. We have worked on three frontiers. The first is full delegation. We need to delegate decision-making rights to the teams in the field and minimize micromanagement at the head office. We give full delegation to our subsidiaries like Tsinghua Tongfang and Uni Group and so on.
Running a business is just like fighting a battle. Only those in the frontier know what actually is happening. So we want to give them as much as authority that we have, that they can run their own decisions and run their own businesses without having to asking for every advice or every decision from us. That would make things more difficult. And as a system, it has to have some function to monitor. So we have this monitor system using auditing as the main tool. Many companies now try to monitor the operational efficiency, but not very effective. See, we have a lot of monitoring systems, but auditing in my mind, is the most effective way. But what should we audit? The auditing content that I think should be focusing on the compliance of the business and also the fairness of affiliated business, and whether the operational business is moving the company in a positive way. For business, companies, and organizations, you need to identify the key tasks. And once you have completed these key tasks, your company would be on the right way. And the other important element is incentive system. For a company to develop, it needs a engaged group of employees. If someone fails, the team needs to hold responsible as a team. We don't take any individual accountable for any mistake. We want them feel engaged and working as a team. Mr. Xu, you mentioned that in the innovation of processes and systems, human capital is vital. And for innovative companies, they need specialists and they need talents. And for those who sometimes appear a little bit different, especially those talents, they might be hard to manage. Do you have any way to attract those specialists, talents, and managing them? The key of the success of a company is people. Every value is created by the people, regardless of the resources, external resources that you have, because people are ultimately what transfer the resources into real value. You actually give me quite a great conclusion of the types of talents, the types of human capital. I raised similar opinions a couple of years ago. For a company, specialists are a must. For example, financial experts and legal experts. For a company to excel, your specialists must be greater than your competitors. For a lot of companies, sometimes they don't want to spend a lot on recruiting specialists. And therefore, their specialists cannot compare with those of their competitors. Then, apart from the specialists, we want managers. The managers that can have a plan or a strategy in mind, who think from an all-around perspective. Those who create miracles is another type of people. They are different from us. They are talents, but sometimes they appear a little bit peculiar. Some people call them crazy. You know, when Jack Ma started his own business, people didn't understand his choice. Steve Jobs was misunderstood and thrown out of his company twice. But those miracles are created by people like that. Therefore, it is up to the decision of the leader of that company to see whether he or she wants to employ that kind of talent. In the Tsinghua Group, our fastest subsidiary is Ziguang, and they work on integrated circuits. In just a few years, they have become the #1 in smart chips, even in the whole world. The leader of Ziguang is Zhao Weiguo. He actually aroused some controversy around himself, but he has a lot of capabilities, and if he can put all of his potentials into execution, they will have great potential. And it comes back to the third adjective at the beginning of our conversation, that is accountability and responsibility. You need to have this sense of responsibility to really make it work. You talk about talents, and you know there is a group called the team of Mr. Xu. You are also chairman of some commercial chambers, and a lot of people think that you are their mentor. So there is a group of people who call them Mr. Xu's team. Yes, I have 18 mentees. And of course, those who I talk and who I educate goes more beyond this 18 group. Yajie Chamber of Commerce is a charitable organization, and we have this basket plan, which is to help incubate businesses and ideas. And this is a project that I want to do for life. For example, in Tsinghua Holdings, I might retire, but these projects that support startups, that is the life career for me. I help those startups, but they also help me. I've learned so much. I've got so much wisdom from them. They're young, they're energetic, and they are full of creative ideas. And they are passionate. They are bold. They are brave. So that kind of courage and wisdom are inspirational to me. So I would like to say that the learning occurs both ways, and the startups that I've helped are now developing quite well. Several of them are already the champions of their own segments. For example, we have a company called China-German training program. It is a vocational training program on automotive specialists. Now they have established 280 partnerships with schools and vocational schools in China, training specialists for the automotive industry. So they have been quite successful, and they are now listed in the Small Business SME Exchange. There is another training program that we supported. It's called 流利说, Fluent English. And it is now valued at 1 billion. So this is why I say that the real hope exists on the younger generation. The growth of the younger generation contributes to the growth of our world. Mr. Xu, you attended an award ceremony and accepted an award. And you were happy to be presented that award as one of the most popular figures of Zhongguancun Technology Village. Why do you like this award so much? I guess that it is because you were part of the history of Zhongguancun Technology Street of Beijing. So you value this award very much. You've witnessed personally the development of Zhongguancun Village from a rural farm to right now a technology center. Yes, Zhongguancun Village was a village in Beijing, but now it stands for the incubation center for high-tech startups. Now we have a demonstration zone called Zhongguancun High-Tech Demonstration Zone, and it is headquartered in Beijing. This demonstration zone has been developed according to the development of Zhongguancun Village itself, and every company there has been contributing to the development of Zhongguancun Village. And Tsinghua University and a lot of universities around those places developed together with Zhongguancun Village. We are neighbors. When Beijing was developing Zhongguancun Village, Beijing government was quite bold to do some tests or pilots in Zhongguancun. A lot of policies, before they were implemented, were piloted in Zhongguancun Village. So those had been encouraging the companies in Zhongguancun to do experiments and innovations. And the Zhongguancun authority, the government there, actually hold the interest of the companies there as the top priority. So they serve the companies and the people there. The environment, the climate in Zhongguancun village overall is positive for companies. They have provided a fair and level playing field for the companies. Resources, lands, and fund, they are not as important as a level playing field, a transparent legal framework, and a benign business environment. So that is what Zhongguancun Village has achieved. So during that award ceremony, I told the audience that I was reluctant to take any other awards, but this one is something I value. You know, in recent history of China, we've been lagging behind in the previous 3 technology revolutions. Now, China wants to make us an innovative nation, and we have this objective in 2020 that we need to build a China-specific innovation system. What is your take on that? Every nation has its own history, and every nation is at a different stage of development. So not only China, every country in the world needs to make their own decisions according to their actual situations. Some things are common. For example, technology innovations that are the same for every country. Every country needs to do technology innovations for a better future. But our objective is to develop a China-specific innovation system. What does China-specific mean? The first take for me is that we need to let the market play a decisive role in distributing resources. The market should play an essential role in this area, and the government should only support the distribution instead of making final decisions. So I think that China has a lot of resources, and we need to let these resources flow to where they are actually needed. So this is my first take. And then, according to our status quo, the situations of China, there are a lot of paths that we need to explore. Mr. Xu, the Tsinghua actually has this echo of developing a strong foundation before you can actually blossom. So what is your take on this? Everyone in Tsinghua University has strong attachment to this university, and they are actually marked with this spirit. And it's true that this is our motto. It actually came from an ancient Chinese saying. We also have another motto which goes that actions weigh more than words. So you can see that those graduate from Tsinghua actually were more action-oriented. Everyone who graduates from Tsinghua, we have similar values that we want to put our feet on the ground and achieve our targets step by step. Like I just said, actions weigh more than words. We want to put our values, our beliefs into actions. In Tsinghua, there is a famous scholar called Cheng Yunque. His famous remarks is that we need to have free minds, but innovative ideas and also executions. This is what I want to say at last. Okay? Thank you.